Assalamualaikum and good day to each and every one of us. I'm Anais and Salandab, and today I will be discussing the 200 possible questions that may be questioned and during the let review. So I am the last member of our group, which wherein I will be start in 153 number of question. So 153 question is: identify the author of this literary work, Men Without Women. So the choices are: A. Ernest Hemingway, B. Benjamin Disraeli, or letter C. Louis Ferdinand. So the correct answer is letter A. Ernest Hemingway. Ernest Hemingway was the author of Men Without Women. Next, Pilgrim's Progress was written by A. John Bunyan, B. Jack London, or letter C. Henry Fielding. The correct answer is letter A. The Pilgrim's Progress was written by John Bunyan. Letter A. Next, Don Quixote. Who was the writer of Don Quixote? A. Gustave Flaubert, B. Joseph Conrad, or letter C. Miguel de Cervantes. The correct answer is Miguel de Cervantes, the author of Don Quixote. Letter C. Next, which of the following works by Daniel Defoe feature a castaway who spent 28 years on a remote tropical island near Venezuela, encountering Native Americans, captives, and mountaineers before being rescued? A. Memoirs of the Civilian, B. Robinson Crusoe, letter C. Moll Flanders. The correct answer is letter B. Robinson Crusoe. Next, Vanity Fair is a novel satirizing society in the early 19th century Britain. Who wrote this classic? Who wrote The Vanity Fair? Letter A. Daniel Defoe, B. Herman Melville, or letter C. William Makepeace Thackeray. Letter C. William Makepeace Thackeray was the correct answer. Next, 158. The Journey to the End of the Night. Who was the author of The Journey to the End of the Night? A. Wilkie Collins, B. Herman Melville, or letter C. Louis Ferdinand Céline. Who was the author of The Journey to the End of the Night? A. Wilkie Collins, B. Herman Melville, or C. Louis Ferdinand Céline. And the correct answer is letter D. C. Louis Ferdinand Céline. 159 question. As I Lay Dying. Who was the author of As I Lay Dying? A. William Faulkner, B. Jerome K. Jerome, or letter C. Exine Childer. And the correct answer is William Faulkner, letter A. Next, 160 question. The Trial is a novel which tells the story of a man arrested and prosecuted by remote, inaccessible authority, with the nature of his crime never revealed either to him or the reader. Who is the writer of the novel? Who is the writer of the novel entitled The Trial? A. Henry James, B. Franz Kafka, or letter C. Thomas Hardy. And the correct answer is letter V. B. Franz Kafka was the writer of The Trial. The Trial novel was written by Franz Kafka. 161. The Great Gatsby. Who was the writer of The Great Gatsby? Letter A, Ford Madox Ford, or letter B, Scott Fitzgerald, Fitzgerald, or letter C, D.H. Lawrence? The correct answer is letter B, Scott Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald. Letter B, Scott Fitzgerald was the author of The Great Gatsby. Next, 162. A Passage to India is about to racial tension and prejudice between indigenous Indians and the British colonists who ruled India. Who wrote who wrote this novel? The Passage to India. Letter A, Virginia Woolf, B, Jack London, or letter C, E.M. Forster? Who was the writer of A Passage to India? The correct answer is letter C. E.M. Forster was the writer of The Passage to India. Next question. Mrs. Dalloway is a novel that details a day in the life of Clarissa Dalloway in the post-World War I in England. Who is its author? So, who is the author of Mrs. Dalloway? A. Virginia Woolf, B. Charlotte Bronte, or C. Mary Shelley? Who was the author of Mrs. Dalloway? And the correct answer is Virginia Woolf. Letter A. Virginia Woolf was the writer of Mrs. Dalloway. Next question, 163. Ulysses chronicles the passage of the leopard bloom through Dublin during an ordinary day, 16 June 1904. The title alludes the Odysseus, the hero of Homer's Odyssey. The name of the author Ulysses. So who was the name of the author Ulysses? The choices are A. James Buchan, B. Kenneth Graham, or letter C. Lawrence Sterne. Name the author of the Ulysses. So the correct answer is A. James Buchan, the author of the Ulysses. 165. Question. The 39th step feature the adventure of Richard Hannay, an all-action hero with a stiff upper lip. Who wrote this novel? So who was the writer of the 39 steps? Letter A, Conrad de Balzac, or letter B, Samuel Richardson, or letter C, John Buchan? 39 steps. And the correct answer is